Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Things I've Learned from Barry Harris. Today I thought we'd look at the bridge of Cherokee and all the different angles and different things you can practice on it. So just for a quick reminder, I had done the scales for Cherokee in an earlier episode. You can go and check that out. But I'll just go over the changes are going to be C sharp minor 7 to F sharp 7 to B major. And you're going to do the same thing down whole steps. B minor 7 to E7 to A major. A minor 7 to D7 to G major. G minor to C7. C minor to F7, which brings you back to B flat. Now, the scales that it takes is F sharp 7, well at least the first part, F sharp 7 up and down, and B major up and down. So we were working on phrases that run F sharp 7 into B major. But right before that is an interesting part that a lot of people don't play that Barry points out, and that is in the last two bars of the first 32 bars, it's just a B flat major for two measures, which is, then you start the bridge with your F sharp 7. Now, what Barry likes to do in those little spots is, because what you hear a lot of times in people soloing is they'll play a nice phrase, and then right before the bridge, it's like they play a pretty B flat major phrase, then there's a pause, then they go into their playing F sharp 7. Barry likes to run B flat major into F sharp 7. So he really breaks it down to the smallest degree. So he takes any note of B flat and he says, where is the next, or what two notes of B flat surrounds this note of F sharp, or so on. So just for instance, in B flat, the fifth is F, the sixth is G, and that happens to surround the tonic of F sharp 7. So if we said for the last two bars leading into the bridge, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So we just surrounded the F sharp. The next one is the sixth and the 7 of the B flat, which is the G and the A, surround the second of the F sharp 7. So how, let's see. So let's see, where would that fall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Or, let's see, let's take the B flat and the C. The B flat and the C, or the C and the B flat, surround the fourth of the F sharp 7. So if we said, or let's see, so let's try that. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So anyway, those are just little things that you can work on running B flat major into F sharp 7, which are really interesting. So so that you have it's not just like, here's the chord change, here's your phrase, here's the chord change, here's your phrase. It's, here's the chord changes, and then you run a pretty phrase in between all of them, which is really nice. Now, likewise, if you're thinking of the bridge, it's the same change in whole steps a few times down. So you might not want to play just an F sharp 7 run into a B major run every time, but let's just take an F sharp 7 run. Let's say, let's run up from the fifth. Let's run up for the fifth to the second. We'll put in 2 half steps. Then we'll pivot a chord and come down and hit 2 notes of the tritone, and then end on the second of B. So let's see. Okay, so that's a phrase. And then you can do it here. And the same thing for, and then would be for the bridge. But one thing Barry likes to point out is if we play that, let's say that first change is something you can become aware of playing through changes. If you play that first change and you're focused on F sharp 7 running into B major. Now the next phrase, you might not want to just start. I mean, you really wouldn't want to do that, but you don't want to start right away playing again now E7 into A major. What you might want to do is then run B major, because that change is B major, and then it goes to B minor to E7. So what you might want to do is run the first one, F sharp 7. Now wait. So what I did there was I played the F sharp 7 into B major. I took a little pause, but I didn't come back on the E7. I came back on the B major running into E7. You know, or whatever. So there are so many ways to look at, okay, here's this chord for this many bars, this chord for this many bars. How do I run one into the next one? And especially with a song like this where it's doing a similar thing, down whole steps. You know, it's easy to fall into the pattern of playing a same phrase on this one, same phrase on that one. So you want to try to mix it up to make it sound a little bit more interesting. Anyway, that's one aspect of Barry's method that's also people don't talk about a lot, but his approach to soloing in terms of where you are on the chord and running one chord that not a lot of people run into another chord. And like I said, he really breaks it down to the smallest form. So the notes of B flat that surround F sharp 7. And then in this instance, it would be what notes in B also are common with the E7 or surround E7. You know, that's the type of thing he would look at. And we might look at that for 2 hours. We might just work on the bridge for Cherokee for 2 hours. But again, it's not just looking at the bridge for Cherokee for 2 hours. You're dealing with it in a lot of different songs. For instance, in rhythm changes. Again, the last 2 bars, rhythm changes in B flat is B flat major up and down. And then it starts D7, up and down. So what most people do is they'll play a pretty B flat major phrase, and then, or whatever they end up doing. But Barry likes to say, well, don't leave that B flat major running into D7 out. So he'll come up with a phrase, let's see. Anyway, that's another instance where he thinks, let me run this B flat major into this D7. And it's not common. A lot of people don't even think of it that way. They'll play the last part of their rhythm changes in B flat, take a breath, and then run something D7 as soon as the bridge starts. I think it's pretty interesting how he thinks of it that way. Another place where that happens, that's common. Let's say in the bridge of Confirmation, starts on F sharp 7 and then B flat major, and then it's going to do a 2-5 to D flat. So E flat minor to A flat 7 to D flat major, and then gets back to F after he hits C7. But that's another spot. So he'll say, practice F7, which is running B flat major into A flat 7. So there's another thing that he likes to do, which is taking a normal thing that people do, which is the bridge, now that's for confirmation. So anyway, it's just another thing. So back to, I didn't mean to sidetrack that way, but that's kind of an important concept that at least I've overlooked a bunch of times. So it's interesting to look at. But let's go back to the bridge of Cherokee. Let's play maybe another phrase, but let's play a phrase using his chromatic scale. So maybe we'll start on the 7, and we'll go chromatically all the way up to the 4th. And when we get to the 4th, we're going to come down a chord. So maybe we'll hit the major 7 after that. No, let's not. Let's just say. And then we'll do the same thing for the B major, but we'll start on the 3rd of B major. Yeah, so let's end on the 7th. So let's say. And then you do the same thing for E7. But here, the last 2, you wouldn't do it. You would just do, let's say, the first one. And then, or whatever, however you want to finish F sharp 7. But that's another interesting way to look at using his chromatic scale. You know, it's not, again, I'm just doing these purposely down whole steps so you can really see how to work on them. But obviously when you're soloing, you're going to want to throw all this stuff in at different times. So, yeah, but the bridge to Cherokee leads to a lot of different things, because obviously the bridge to Cherokee goes into so many different keys, and it's going to help you. And that's also, let's say, if you take the first change, F sharp 7, F sharp 7 also brings in the tritone, which is C7, going into the B major. So of course you should work on phrases. Running F sharp 7 into C7, which we talked about in the previous episode talking about family. That's one of the families. F sharp 7 to C7. That's one of the 4 dominants that F sharp 7 is family with. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy practicing your scales and your exercises for the bridge Cherokee. And I'm going to do this more often, maybe take a look at just 2 bars or 4 bars of things just to get a little bit deeper into it. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me down below, or even I'm actually available for Skype lessons if anybody's interested also. But yeah, I'm really enjoying these, like I've said before, and I hope you guys are too. So until next time, enjoy practicing the bridge of Cherokee. Thanks.